Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here to talk about this topic. This is very interesting because it turns everything upside down. If we look at IoT as we see it today, and we have defined a number of these standards. They all sort of try to cater for different cost points in the industry. They are different, from the standardization progress, they are in different phases, right? We talked about Red Cap yesterday. We heard something about how these standards are getting out to the market by first standardization, making products, and then eventually you get some applications out of it. The years to deal with this. So looking through these ones, this is sort of pyramid around this, where we look at the different cost points that are possible to do and the different technologies that we can do with this. And it's very clear that even the sort of the lowest type of standards that we have today with NB-IoT, they are too costly for many devices out there. And it's really the cost that drives this. It's not the capabilities necessary. Capabilities makes a application possible, but if it's not financially viable to do it, it's still some sort of debt. Therefore, we still need to have things that are far cheaper. And this is why it's so interesting with this passive IoT and the innovation that we have done in this space, because it starts from the other way around. We start with devices that are already available in the field, and then build the network based on that one and take that one step upwards. So RFID is, of course, the standards that's been around for some time, so there are already sort of readers, there's all kinds of different things out there. However, they are not networked and not fitting into the picture of what we would call IoT devices in the classical manner. All right, with these technologies that we do have today, there's some sort of drawbacks and issues with it. So on these RFID systems, there's sort of this uplink and downlink interference issues. I will come back to them and explain a little bit more detail for those of you that are not familiar with this RFID sort of next slide. But the result of this is that you do get a system that is quite limited. You have short distance when it comes to covering this. We talk 5-10 meters. In most cases, just 5 meters to get things out. Terminals are quite expensive. If you convert this yen to euros and dollars, it's around 1,300. And it's quite difficult to manage this. So you end up with, if you do stock takes and things like that, you walk around in your warehouse, you have this reader with you, you shoot at these different objects. And yes, sometimes if you miss things, right? And then they don't come into that check. So it's low efficiency and rather lower accuracy with this. You always have to do some follow up, check again. And of course, there's also with this sort of self-interference that you're having, and with the interference with multiple devices out there. If you have multiple readers, you may end up with issues with that. Now, when it comes to RFID, there's sort of two ways of doing this. One way is inductive. And this is really something that was done quite early, not used that much any longer, but that's based on basically two calls that can talk to each other through these devices. And that has rather limited reach as well. And we're talking half meter maybe, or something like that, to be able to do that. The method that we use here is called backscatter. So you power a device by sort of far field excitation of the device. You send out the signal, you excite the device harvests the energy from this. The antenna is reflective, so it also scatters things back. So it is really like a sort of radar signal that comes back. The way you modulate the signal onto is that you sort of load the antenna more or less, and then with that you can create modulation in the uplink. Or of course, anybody with some RF knowledge here would see that, yes, I'm basically shouting to the device downwards, and then I need to listen to whisper at the same time as I'm shouting. So this is sort of causing these devices to be quite expensive on the reader side, not on the device side. The device side is dirt cheap. We're talking 15 euro cent or dollar cents here, and expected to even fall further down. And it's absolutely free of maintenance. I mean, you have no batteries or anything like that. Even sort of the, if you compare with NB-IoT, where you would have a battery that is lasting for a very long time, but this is absolutely, it's lasting forever basically, and it's very easy to deploy as well. Now, back to technology a little bit here. So the reader and these devices, they use one frequency to sort of collect the data. Now there are a number of channels you can use there. However, if the readers are not coordinated and they're not networked, which they are not today, you can't really be sure that you captured the right feedback from the device, or from the RFID tags. So that is sort of the traditional way of doing this. You would have this one, it's handheld, you do this reading, and you have these challenges, as I said, both in terms of being able to listen effectively to the devices, but also you have the interference between the reading devices. What we have come up with here, maybe I put this one. Is one working? Yes. Yeah, all right, very good, thank you. Is a network system instead. So instead of having a reader which is handheld, we built up a network in these areas where you actually need